I was kicked out of my home for a crime I did not commit. I was accused of treason that never happened. For 7 years, I lived with the stigma of being a traitor, until a chance event revealed the truth, and then everything changed. I'm Ethan. I'm 30 this year, and I want you to know up front, I'm not looking for pity. I just need someone to hear what happened, because for a long time I felt like the only person who remembered my own name. When I was 22, I was still crashing at my parents' place in Mapleton, Ohio, small town, Main Street, one traffic light, the kind of place where the high school football coach knows everyone's business. I just finished college, had a shaky entry-level job at a physical therapy office, and I was saving every spare dollar to get my own place. Living at home was the practical choice. It wasn't glamorous, but I liked the routine. Then my sister, Maya, started telling stories. Maya's 3 years older than me, loud and magnetic in a way Mom always admired. Growing up she was the golden child. Parents loved her laugh and forgave her messes the way some people forgive artful mistakes. I didn't resent it much as a kid, but as I got older I noticed the way she could convince a room that her version of things was true. That talent would later ruin me. One afternoon she stormed into our living room crying like everything in her life had collapsed. I filed, she said between sobs. He was cheating on me for months. The he she meant was Connor, the man she'd married 3 years prior. He was a good guy, a nurse, quiet, always complimenting Maya on small things. I couldn't square the pieces. When she angled her accusation toward me, though, I felt my world tilt. You brought Emily to him, Maya said, voice raw. You introduced them. Emily was a friend of mine, quiet, dependable, training to be a nutritionist. I'd introduced them because Emily asked for help, she wanted nutrition advice and Connor did that professionally. That was it. Why would I do that? I said. I wouldn't. But my parents didn't ask. They didn't call Connor or Emily to get the other side. Maya's story was dramatic, neat, convenient. She painted pictures of stolen texts, late-night messages, a relationship blossoming behind her back. She told it with conviction, she'd practiced the cadence of outrage. Within 48 hours I had nowhere to sleep. My father looked at me like I'd betrayed every unspoken family rule. My mother's voice cracked as she told me to pack my things and never come back while their eyes held the iron calm of people who have already decided. Blocked numbers, slammed doors, and a lifetime of shared holidays erased in a matter of days. How do you pack a life into a duffel under that kind of pressure? How do you compress 7 years of being someone's son into a single cardboard box and set it on the curb? I sat on that curb and cried until my friend Sam, who had a 2-bedroom place, pulled over and took me in. For months I tried to reach them. Calls went unanswered. Texts were blocked. I left voicemails that sounded like a stranger pleading for an explanation. In our town, word did what word does, it traveled and mutated. I was the reason Connor and Maya split. I was disgusting, untrustworthy, irresponsible. My parents, who had once folded my laundry on Sunday mornings, chose a tidy lie. What would you do if everyone who once loved you believed a story without bothering to check the facts? Do you scream? Do you defend yourself until your voice breaks? I tried both. It did nothing. So I did the only thing left that made sense, I rebuilt. I work hard. I still do. I learned to fix my own sink, to iron a shirt without burning it, to budget like my future depended on it, because it did. I found humility in 100 small chores, they became my rhythm. I kept my head down, saved, paid rent, and one day I had a little apartment that felt like mine. It was tiny and full of boxes, but it was quiet, and quiet was healing. Years passed. I lived, I worked, I dated badly and then better. I patched myself together. I met Olivia, who saw me in the small, honest light I'd worked toward. She's sharp, a doctor, and the kind of person who notices when you're tired even if you don't say it. 2 years into us being a couple, she said yes when I asked. We posted a picture, stupidly happy, poorly lit, holding an engagement sign, and I felt something I hadn't allowed myself to feel in a long time, hopeful. And then life, mercifully and unexpectedly, delivered the twist. A few days after our engagement post, an email slid into my inbox from an unfamiliar address. Subject line, "You need to see this." I almost deleted it. Why would I not? Spam, scams, we all get them. But something, a quiet curiosity, made me open it. Attached were screenshots. Emails between Maya and a man I recognized as Frank, who worked at the grocery store near our old neighborhood. The messages were intimate and precise: plans, confirmations, confessions. Dates spanning months. They were signed with a name, Maya's middle name, something only family or someone close would use. There were photos too, candid ones of Maya and Frank together at a small coffee shop, the same mugs, the same table. Evidence like this has a way of hitting like a train. I sat on my couch, the room spinning. The email was anonymous, but the tone was apologetic. A name finally appeared in the message from the sender, Connor. He'd seen our engagement post. Social media is a small-town loudspeaker, and, after running into Emily at a conference and hearing the truth, he'd followed a thread that led him to the receipts, emails, screenshots, messages. He'd been blocked by my family and didn't want to make a scene, so he chose anonymity first. He wanted justice, not drama. Imagine being told for years that you were the villain of a story and then finding a box of receipts that show the narrative was reversed. How do you feel? Vindicated? Angry? Hungry for retribution? Yes. All of the above. I met Connor. He was quiet and thin, not bitter, but tired in a different way than mine. He explained how Maya spun a tale to paint herself as the wronged party and how my simple act of introducing Emily as a professional contact was weaponized. He admitted, embarrassed, that when he first heard I'd been the one, he blocked us in hurt and embarrassment. He'd regretted it. He wanted to fix it. We planned what to do. We would go to my parents and show them the evidence we had. I won't pretend it was noble. Part of me wanted them to feel what I had felt. Part of me wanted my childhood back. I also wanted to close a door properly. So 2 days later, Connor and I walked onto my parents' porch. My mom opened the door and, seeing us both, flushed like a caught animal. For a second, her eyes were blank. Then confusion, then shame. We didn't need to say much. Connor laid out the screenshots, the emails, the photos. He explained what Emily had told him years before, that she had been pressured by Maya to keep quiet. We waded through a battery of excuses, soft denials, and the sort of rage that crumples into guilt once facts step into a room. When faced with signed messages and timestamps, stories don't hold up. What happened next felt surreal. My father, who once turned his back on me without a second thought, stood slowly, then said a word I never expected: "Why?" He wanted an answer, but I only had questions. Why hadn't they listened? Why had they chosen charm over truth? Why did family loyalty silence reason? Maya tried to invent new stories. She cried, deflected, and even tried to play the victim card until my dad, my own father, pulled out the family photo album and, eyes wet, told her to pack. He packed her bags and told her to leave our house. Karma, for once, had a face, the cold letter of proof. I felt relief so intense it made me dizzy. I felt angry in ways I had smothered for years. When Maya pleaded with me in the driveway, I listened without interest. She begged for forgiveness. Would I give it? Forgiveness is complicated. It isn't one moment. It's a process. The following weeks were messy. Maya harassed me and attempted to manipulate people into thinking I was performing some show. She showed up at my door, left messages, and once even tried to block my commute by standing in front of my car. I filed a harassment report. I held tight to the truth and to Olivia's calm hand. And my parents? They were stunned and apologetic in equal measure. I let them see that I had moved on. I didn't need their words to rebuild what I already had, a home with the woman I loved, slow weekends, honest work, friends who had never left. So what did I learn? What's the moral for anyone listening? First, truth has a way of coming out, but you can't base your life on waiting for that day. You have to keep living. You have to make good choices in the present, even when the past smells like smoke. Second, family isn't always defined by blood. Sometimes, the people who deserve the title are the ones who stand with you when everyone else chooses a lie because it's easier. Third, forgiveness is not mandatory. Reconciliation is earned. You don't owe anyone an open door simply because they once convinced you they were family. Would I have done anything differently? Maybe I should have pushed harder to prove my side back then. Maybe I should have taken legal action. Or maybe none of it would have mattered. People want the stories that make sense to them, not the messy truth. Today I'm engaged to Olivia. We keep the old ring box tucked away because marriages are not trophies, they're plans and promises. I talk to my parents sometimes, but cautiously. I don't expect the world to change overnight. My relationship with Maya is over, I let the court of truth decide her chapters. Was revenge satisfying? Not really. Showing the truth felt cleaner than retribution. It restored my name, my dignity. It made people think. That's enough. If you're reading this and you've been gaslit or thrown away by people who should have protected you, I'm not going to pretend I have a cure-all. But I can tell you this, build a life you don't have to defend constantly. Surround yourself with people who check facts before they pick sides. Hold evidence when you can. And when the truth does come, let it land, but don't let it be the only reason you move forward. In the end, I lost 7 years of birthdays and dinners with my family. I lost the naive certainty that kin equals safety. And I gained something else, an understanding that loyalty must be mutual, and that sometimes the most humane thing you can do is choose your peace over perpetual combat. So, what would you do if your world turned on you? Would you be crushed? Or would you find a way to build a life that no one's rumor could shatter?